Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda and today I want to talk about the phenomena, or maybe it's phenomenon. I'm never sure which one to use there. But I want to talk about this idea of I want to date a black woman, but... And the reason that I want to talk about this is because I get a lot of emails from predominantly non-black men about how they can approach, how they can date, how they can enter into relationships with black women. And a lot of these men email me for advice because even though they're interested in black women, they have these mindsets, they have these preconceived notions, they have these concerns. And after sifting through quite a bit of these emails, I didn't get to all of them because there's a lot of them, but I did go through quite a bit of them. And here are the 3 key obstacles that I have found that have appeared throughout all of these emails. And here's just my collective response, my collective advice to those questions and to those concerns. So to some degree, this is fair. I have said over and over in multiple videos that in the United States, black people only make up 13% of the population. And that is the entire population. That's not the adult population. Like, that is the entire population. It's only 13%. And depending on where you live, that 13% may have been distributed in a way in which you only have like 2%, 1% of that overall population. So it is very possible, depending on where you live, that you may or may not come across that many black women on like a day-to-day basis. And at the same time, I have to ask you, are you really looking? Are you really looking for a black woman, and are your eyes really open to the ones that you encounter? And if you're not looking, like, what are you doing? Are you just waiting for this woman to fall into your lap? Are you waiting for a black woman to just like show up? And are you even putting yourself in places where she actually might show up in the first place? And you might want to consider, like, as a man, are you spending time where women even are, like where women would be comfortably? And I'm not saying that you have to start hanging out at all the girly boutiques, that you have to go to all of the hair salons. Like, I'm not saying that you have to do that, but you do need to think about where you go on a day-to-day, weekly, monthly basis, and are those spaces more men-centered, more men-oriented? Like, are those places where women would feel comfortable being? And also, are those spaces where black women would feel comfortable being? Like, are those spaces that black women could comfortably inhabit? For instance, if you're just spending time at like Home Depot or at your barber shop, or I don't know, maybe you go to the gym, but you go to a gym where like all the big brolic men go to. Like, are those the types of places that you're spending the most of your time in? And also, if you're spending a lot of time at home, like, how are you gonna meet a black woman that way? Like, is she supposed to just show up at your doorstep? Like, you have to go past your doorstep if you want to have that black woman come beyond the doorstep. You know what I mean? Like, if you want her to come into your home, you're probably going to have to leave your home. So this is something that I recently encountered with someone who emailed me, and I really want to appreciate them for their honesty and for their vulnerability. And I'm gonna share with you what I shared with them when they said to me that I want to date a black woman, and I've been trying to approach these black women and talk to these black women, but they just haven't been friendly. So I want you to hear me out, and I want you to really hear me out. Women do not owe men friendliness. We don't. We don't owe you friendliness. We don't really owe you anything. And the same goes both ways. It definitely goes both ways. And as courageous as I think it is for a man to get past his fear of rejection, to approach a woman, him doing that, him approaching that woman, doesn't mean that she owes him anything. Like, yes, you were courageous, and yes, that is an admirable thing. And at the same time, you taking the time to approach her does not mean that you are entitled to her talking back to you, to her giving you her phone number or giving you some means of communicating with her. She doesn't owe you anything. You're not entitled to anything just because you approached her. Now, on the bright side of things, there is, in my opinion, there is a silver lining to this. And that is that rejection is often a form of protection and a form of redirection. And every no that you receive, every woman that ghosts you, every woman that isn't romantically interested in you the way that you may be in her, all of those things, all of those no's are just leading you closer to your eventual yes. And they're all opportunities for you to take time to reflect on yourself and to work on the areas that need improvement. But if there aren't any like glaring, bold, bright, like if there aren't just any areas or parts of yourself that are like screaming, that are like begging you, that are blatantly in need of improvement, then that's just time for you to further invest in yourself and to just relax and to wait for the right person. And I know for a fact, like I know that this is going to be something that is so much easier for me to say than it may be for you to internalize, than it may be for you to believe, but you can't take it personally. And you especially can't take it personally when you're turned down, when you're rejected by a woman that is basically a stranger to you. And the reason you can't take it personally is because of the fact that she doesn't know you. Like, why take it personally when she doesn't know your person? When she doesn't know who you are? You can't take it personally. You can't take it personally. You really can't take it personally. And then there is the good old, I want to date a black woman, but I'm just a white guy and I'm afraid me and her don't have anything in common. We can't possibly have anything in common. We won't have anything in common. We're just going to clash with each other either in the beginning or later on down the road. And for someone who has those concerns, I actually don't have advice to give you. I have questions for you. And only you can answer these questions. So here's my response. Here's my inquisition to that mindset, to that belief, to that fear of not having anything in common with a black woman and therefore being too fearful of approaching and or dating a black woman. Are your interests particularly special or so unique that a black woman just wouldn't be able to access your interest, or would they be interests that she's denied entry into? What do you think that black women are interested in? And not only what do you think, but what do you know? What do you know from lived experience and from speaking and getting to know real life black women? What are their interests? What do you know that they take interest in? What interests do you think non-black women have that black women don't have? What preconceived notions do you have about black women? Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching tonight's video. I hope that you enjoyed. Again, sorry about the shadow. Hopefully it wasn't too distracting. And until next time, stay safe, be well, and I'll see you all soon. Bye everyone.